5 years. Countless drops, rainstorms, and one accidental laundry cycle, and guess what? The Casio W218H still ticks. Take that, overpriced smartwatches. It's under 25 bucks, survived more abuse than my first cordless drill, and still runs like a champ. Let's see what 5 years with the W218H looks like.
"5 years with the Casio W218H. Is this the best budget digital watch ever?"
I picked this tough little trooper up for just 13 bucks. Yep, 5 whole years ago. And guess what? You can still snag the standard version with the classic resin band for around $13 to $15 today. That's some serious inflation resistance right there. If you're curious to see how it looked fresh out of the box before it took a beating, the unboxing video is linked above in this video. Go check it out. Now, if you want to level up the look a bit, the stainless steel bracelet version will run you about $22. Still a steal for reliable, water-resistant everyday watch that can take a beating. I mostly use this as my go-to beater watch. I'm talking plumbing jobs, gardening in the heat, and even the occasional river fishing trip. Basically, anything messy or muddy where I wouldn't dare bring a fancy timepiece. Eventually, the original band tapped out. Yep, it snapped after years of loyal service. But no biggie, I grabbed a generic resin strap from China for just 2 bucks. It's not luxurious, but hey, it gets the job done. Oh, and the battery? Still kicking after 5 years. I've never replaced it, though I probably should soon. This bad boy runs on a CR2016 lithium coin cell battery, rated for up to 7 years. So maybe it's got another 2 left in the tank, or maybe I'm just pushing my luck. All in all, this has been a surprisingly tough and dependable digital watch for everyday chores and rugged use. It's a kind of budget EDC gear you forget you're even wearing, until it saves the day again.
Dimensions segment.
I make it a tradition to revisit this trusty watch every year for a quick review, like catching up with an old friend who's somehow still on time. For those of you who are new to the Casio W218H, let's talk numbers. Here are the official watch dimensions that matter. Case size, 43.2 millimeters. Lug-to-lug distance, 44.4 millimeters. Thickness, 10.8 millimeters. Lug width, 18 millimeters, which means plenty of aftermarket bands are available, from tactical to classy. Weight, just 37 grams. Yep, it's so light you'll forget it's on your wrist until it saves you from checking your phone.
Wrist shot.
All right, let's go ahead and take a wrist shot of the Casio W218H and see how it actually wears. Now, I know what you're thinking. On paper, this thing clocks in at just over 40 millimeters in case size. Sounds kind of big, right? But honestly, in person, it doesn't feel bulky at all. It's one of those watches where the numbers seem intimidating, but when it's actually on your wrist, it wears way more compact. Casio's design team really knows how to pull off function without the bulk. On my 6.5-inch wrist, it fits beautifully. I mean, we're talking a near perfect fit here. It hugs the wrist just right, doesn't overhang or feel clunky, and sits low enough to slide under a sleeve. No drama, no wrist fatigue. It's not overly big, not awkwardly small. It lands right in that Goldilocks zone of watch sizing. It's just right. And for a budget digital watch that costs less than a fast food meal these days, that's seriously impressive.
Case check after 1 year.
Now let's check in on the Casio W218H after 1 year of solid wear. And trust me, it's been through a lot. Starting with the resin crystal, you'll notice some scratches here and there. Nothing too wild, just your standard signs of wear and tear. It's worth noting that the crystal actually protrudes above the bezel, so it's more exposed than if it were recessed. If Casio had tucked it in a bit more, it could have had a bit more protection from knocks and bumps. Still, For a budget digital watch, it's held up better than expected. The green case and bezel have their share of scuffs too. Again, nothing major or structural. Just cosmetic stuff from the usual daily grind. That's part of the charm of using a $15 everyday watch. You don't baby it, you wear it. Now this green strap is actually an aftermarket one I picked up for just $2 from China. Yep, only $2. It looks and feels very close to the original resin strap, minus the Casio branding or any part numbers. A clean look though, definitely generic. The buckle is made from black hard plastic. No markings there either, and the strap retainer also feels tough and rigid. Hopefully, this budget strap holds up well with time, but for the price, I can't complain. Moving on to the case back, it's stainless steel, and like the rest of the watch, it has a few scratches from daily wear. Nothing too deep, just honest battle scars. Even after 5 full years, the markings on the case back are still fully visible. You'll find the Casio logo up top, followed by the module and model number, then the stainless steel back engraving, water-resistant 5-bar, and finally, the good old made in China at the bottom. Honestly, for something this affordable, it's amazing how well this watch holds up under pressure, both literally and figuratively. A true beater watch that just keeps ticking.
Dial check after 5 years.
Alright, let's dive into a dial check and see how this Casio W218H is holding up after a solid 5 years of use. No baby, no watch box pampering, just real world wear. First up, the bezel. Sure, it's got its fair share of scratches, but nothing tragic. What's impressive is that the illuminator imprint across the top is still nice and clear. That print hasn't faded one bit, which is pretty rare on budget digital watches after years of wear. Down at the bottom, the water 50 meters text is also holding strong. It hasn't rubbed off, which is impressive considering this watch has seen everything from sweaty yard work to surprise rainstorms. The thin white line that frames the display, still clearly visible, no chipping or flaking there. It really helps keep the screen looking sharp and defined, even after all this time. The Casio logo on top is as crisp as day one. Shout out to Casio's paint durability department. And right next to it, the start-stop imprint with that little orange bullet is still bright and intact. That's tied to the top left button, which, by the way, still works perfectly. Clicks like it means business. Below that, you'll see alarm chronograph, still in pristine condition. No fading, no peeling. It still gives the dial that classic Casio retro charm. Moving down, you've got 2 more printed indicators, mode on the left and light on the right. These correspond to the bottom left and right side buttons. Again, all the markings are totally intact and the buttons are fully functional. No sticky presses or dead zones here. On the actual digital display, the alarm and hourly signal icons in the top left corner are still very visible, not faded or pixelated, which can happen in older models. In the center and right side of the screen, the day of the week and date are still easy to read, even in bright light. And at the bottom, the large main digits showing the hour, minute, and second are still bold and sharp. No ghosting, no fading. And here's the best part. After 5 years of constant use, every single button still works, and all the digits, markings, and indicators are still crisp and readable. For something that costs less than a pizza, that's seriously impressive.
Viewing angles.
Alright, now let's put the watch's display to the test and see if the viewing angles are still as solid as they were on day one. First up, let's flip it from left to right. Nice. No ghosting at all. The digits are still clear and readable, even at a sharp angle. You don't have to look at this watch dead on just to tell the time, which is a win in my book. Now let's reverse it, right to left. Again, no ghosting, no weird shadows, and no pixel smearing. The display holds up like a champ, even when tilted off axis. Next, we'll go top to bottom, and then bottom up, same result. The digits stay sharp, no fading, and everything's still clearly visible, even when you're not looking at it head on. Whether you're glancing at your wrist while holding groceries or sneaking a time check during a boring meeting, The readability is still there. Even after 5 years of wear and tear, the digital display clarity is just as impressive as ever. No signs of screen degradation, ghosting, or LCD fade. For a budget digital watch under $20, that's honestly more than I expected.
Alarm check.
Let's check the alarm function after all these years. And yep, it's still doing its job like a champ. The sound is just as audible now as it was when the watch was brand new. No muffling, no fading. Just that familiar digital beep that's perfect for early mornings, reminders, or that last warning before your toast burns. It's not too loud to be annoying, but not too quiet either. Casio really struck a good balance here. It'll grab your attention in a quiet room, but it won't wake the neighbors like some of those shrill smartwatches. Now, even though the alarm still works great, I've got a feeling it might be time for a battery change soon. After all, it's been 5 years, and this watch uses a CR2016 battery rated for about 7 years. So yeah, it's still ticking, but the clock's ticking on the clock, if you know what I mean. For a budget digital watch, having a reliable alarm that holds up this long without needing maintenance, that's solid performance from an everyday carry timepiece under $20.
Backlight check.
Now let's talk about the backlight, because what's a digital watch without a good old glow-in-the-dark moment? This watch uses a single amber LED positioned on the left side of the display. Simple setup, but super effective. And honestly, it's still definitely clear, just as bright and readable as the very first time I tested it fresh out of the box. No dimming, no flicker, no signs of it giving up. In fact, this backlight is noticeably better than what you get on some of the lower-end Casios like the F91W, which is no more for nostalgia than night vision. Compared to that faint blue-green tint on the F91W, this amber LED feels like a flashlight in a blackout. For a budget digital watch, the visibility in the dark is top-notch, making it perfect for everything from late-night fishing to midnight snack missions.
Water-resistant test.
Time to test if this watch still lives up to its 50-meter water resistance rating. Because what good is a rugged digital watch if it can't handle a little splash, right? First up, I ran it under tap water, just like how you'd wash your hands or get caught in the rain. No issues at all. The display stayed crisp and no moisture snuck in. Next, I submerged it in a sink full of water, because sometimes life happens, and your watch ends up in the sink while you're doing the dishes or chasing a runaway fork. And the result? It passed with flying colors. Still ticking, still clear, no fog under the glass, no drama. For a budget everyday watch, it still holds strong against water, even after all these years. Just don't go deep sea diving with it, and we're good.
Final thoughts.
After all this time, this watch still holds up like a champ. The display is still sharp, the backlight's brighter than some newer models, and the alarm still chirps loud enough to nudge you out of bed, but not enough to scare the dog. Even after all these years, it's reliable, no nonsense, and doesn't beg for attention, kind of like the ideal roommate over 40. The 50-meter water resistance, still solid. Took on tap water and a sink soak like it was nothing. Not bad for a watch that costs less than a dinner for two at a diner. Sure, it might need a battery change soon, but that's expected. And hey, that's cheaper than replacing most other gear in your EDC lineup. Overall, this is a durable digital watch that just keeps going. No drama, no fuss, no problem. If you're looking for a reliable budget timepiece that won't bail on you after a rough day or 5 rough years, this one still deserves a spot on your wrist. or at least in your rotation.
I think that's the end of the video, guys. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this look at a solid budget digital watch that still delivers after all these years, please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Got this one in your collection? Drop your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear if you survived the sync test too. And if you feel like supporting the channel in a small but meaningful way, you can check out the merch linked on Amazon, or even buy me a coffee. Those little things really help keep the lights on around here and let us keep bringing you honest, budget-friendly watch reviews. Alright, that's all from us today. Stay safe, stay sharp, and as always, stay frugal. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.